Welcome back to part 2 of this look at free, cheap, and do-it-yourself album pages. In this part, I'll look at the do-it-yourself part. But before I start that, I need to make a couple of additions to make up for some omissions in part 1. First, there's the website Philosateleia.com, which I had actually recorded video for, but somehow, between the recording and the editing, I lost a segment of video. It's probable that I hit the record button and didn't actually start recording and was just talking to a still camera. So here's Philosateleia.com, where webmaster Kevin Blackstone provides some free US page downloads. And this is what they look like. So Kevin, I apologize for the omission in the first part. Next, I come to the website of Don Denman of stampsmarter.org. Now, I was aware of this website, however, I didn't realize that he also offered album pages. On this website, you can find a couple of different US stamp albums to download, as well as an album for Saudi Arabia. This whole website is just a plethora of information that's useful for stamp collectors, and I encourage you to check out the whole site, which will indeed help you to stamp smarter. And then, earlier when I was researching all these websites, one country that I noticed was missing was India. I couldn't find India pages. Well, I finally found them. They're back on the eboli.it website that had the Italy, Vatican, and San Marino. You'll have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and there you will find India from 1947 on. And here's an example of what those pages look like. Now, as part 1 ended, I was talking about the German album pages available from Postmaster GS at germanstamps.net. And to start off this do-it-yourself segment of the program, we'll stay on germanstamps.net, where Postmaster GS has a downloadable program available called PMGS Stamp Album Page Generator. Now, this program is used in conjunction with the Scribus desktop publishing software, which is also free. However, I'm not familiar with the use of Scribus yet, so I can't tell you about the PMGS program. If any of you have used the program, please leave a comment below and let us know how you feel about it. And just one more quick note before leaving germanstamps.net. The Postmaster has a couple of other nifty programs available that you should check out. One is called PMGS Stamp Fix, and it will take a scan of a page full of stamps and explode the image into the separate stamp images, and also de-skew the images so you have nice square images. The other program is called PMGS Reveal, which will take a hard-to-read stamp, say you have a barely legible cancellation or a watermark, and it will manipulate your image with color filters and exposure changes in order to try to bring out the image better so you can read it. And he's also got some other resources available on that site. Be sure to check them all out. Another free page maker is found at freestampalbum.com. This is a sister site to Philosateleia.com, and it is a very simple to use program that will give you some rudimentary stamp album pages. As you can see, there's very little for you to do but enter the title for your page, the caption for your stamp, such as a catalog number or a description, and the dimensions of your stamp box. You then click on the plus sign to add another stamp and add the caption and dimensions, and keep adding stamp boxes in this way until you have the number of boxes you need. The boxes will be automatically spaced and new rows created as needed. I created this 12 stamp page for the first issue of Stampistan. There were 9 small format stamps and 3 larger ones in the set. And when I clicked on the Generate PDF button, I wound up with this page. The final 3 stamps are placed out of order. I don't know why that happened. Maybe it just kind of defaults to placing larger boxes at the top. So I created a second page, this time with 4 smaller and 4 larger stamps, and this was the result. Again, the stamps are out of order with 1 through 6 in the lower half and 7 through 12, the bigger boxes, at the top. With no other design and layout controls available, this program seems a bit limited, but it is a quick and easy program to use in a pinch. Another program I tried out, which is a downloadable program which you use from your desktop computer, is called Stamp Page Creator. This is a very easy program to learn with a really intuitive interface, and you'll be making stamp albums in just a few minutes. When you start a new album, you're presented with this page. Click at the top of the file tree where it says Title of Page, and a text box appears at the bottom. Type in your title, and it will appear on the preview screen to the right. On the toolbar, where you see the cluster of 8 blue boxes followed by 5 boxes and 3 and 1, those are the buttons for adding a new group of stamps or a new line of stamps or just a single new stamp box. When you try it out, you'll figure it out far more quickly than you will by listening to me trying to explain it. So this was my completed project. Again, I'm working with the first issue of Stampistan. Besides the page title, you can enter a line of text for the description of the stamp set. In the lower left, you can see where you enter the dimensions of your stamp and all 3 lines of text inside the box. And here is how the finished page looks. The stamp boxes are a little bit low relative to the title, making the page look a bit unbalanced, and you can't choose any of the typefaces. You also can't place any text below the stamp boxes, where I like to put the catalog number and a caption for the stamp. So all in all, while I didn't find this program suitable for my purposes, you might find it useful for yourself, and you've got nothing to lose by at least downloading it and trying it out. The next page creation program I tried came from thestampweb.com, and this is the handiwork of Clive Levinson. It's a really quite versatile program, and it's got a lot going for it to recommend it. Once you install it on your desktop and open the program, you are presented with this screen, and you think, uh-oh, now what? Well, fear not. First, Mr. Levinson has an excellent tutorial video on his website, or even on YouTube, to run you through all the basics. Second, there is an excellent and comprehensive help file, which you can print out and keep handy for reference. And third, well, see that magic wand? Click on the wizard and you'll be taken through a series of prompts to name your album, set your page size, set your margins, etc. Then click Finish. You'll then be presented with this. Uh-oh, yep, it looks like you need to be a computer programmer to use this, doesn't it? But don't worry, it all becomes clear in no time. The top half shows you all the paper size and margin specifications that you entered when you started the program. The lower portion of the page, starting at Page Start, is the text you will enter for the actual layout of your page. I'm not going to give you a full tutorial here, but briefly, in the line where it says Album Page Title, that TB16 means it will print the title of your page in Times Roman bold 16 point. In the line that says Row Start, the letters and numbers in parentheses set your parameters, where HN means Helvetica typeface for the text in a 6-point font. And the 0.1 is the thickness of the stamp box border in millimeters, and the 6 is the millimeters between each stamp on the line. Where it says Stamp Add, the first 2 numbers are the stamp dimensions in millimeters. The word example in quotes is the text that will appear inside your stamp box, and the 3 quotes where right now only the second set has some numbers in it. Those are the 3 items that will appear below the stamp box on the left, center, and the right. In the toolbar at the top, you'll then click on Save, then you'll click on Generate, and then View PDF, and your PDF reader will open with the album page you just created. Here's a closer look at the layout. AlbumEasy can utilize any TrueType font that you have on your computer. And going back to the text editor, at the top I've added an instruction, Album Define Font, followed by CAS and Casteller in quotes. This simply tells the program whenever it sees CAS in the font field, that means to use the Casteller typeface. I've also added a second instruction saying that if there is a CAN, then it should use a Candera typeface. Now, in the last line in the top section, Album Page Title, I've written the instruction to print the album title Stampistan in 16-point Casteller. For each stamp add line, I've replaced the word example with the stamp's denomination and the color, which will go inside the stamp box. And I've placed my text that will go under the box between the 3 quotes. Again, click Save, then Generate, and View PDF. And here is our new page now. Notice that the first 2 boxes have the denomination and the color on one line, while the 3rd and 4th boxes have them on separate lines. You can go back, rewind the video, and check the text editor to see how the coding differs for each of those 2 pairs. Now you can also create pages that have the stamp images in the stamp box rather than the denomination and color. To do that, you go back and in the quotes where you had the denomination and color, change it to put the file name of the image you want in the box. And over here where the text shows up below the box, I've added a \n, which indicates a line break, so I can have 2 lines of text. Now save, generate, and view, and here is a page with images in the stamp boxes. And here's a close-up view. There's a whole lot more this program is capable of. You can split the page or parts of the page into 2 columns and lay out each one independently. This works well for placing a title and an image such as a flag or a coat of arms at the top of the page. You can also create large paragraphs of text, which is good for extended write-ups of the country or a set of stamps. I really love this program, and I encourage you to go ahead and look at the videos of Clive Levinson's tutorials and see if you can't resist downloading it right now. And as a bonus, there are more free album pages available here, where users of AlbumEasy have uploaded their own files and make them available for you to download. Here are the album pages that are available at this time. The last program I have to tell you about is not an album creating program per se, but rather a stamp database. It's a creation of the World Collector project at worldcollector.eu. And it's also a program that you download and run right off of your desktop computer. No cloud computing here. When you first open the program, you'll see this screen with no stamp data on it. But click on the magnifying glass in the upper left corner, and another window pops up. Open the country list and choose the country which you'd like to view. For this purpose, I chose Aden. You'll see at the bottom of the screen there are 84 stamps for Aden. You'll also notice there is no image available. That's because they do not automatically download with the program. To conserve space on your computer and to shorten the download time, you download the images you want as needed by running a separate update program and choosing which images to download. This is a one-time operation for each country. You don't have to do this every time you use the program. You then restart the program and Now you have images. The number at the top is the catalog number using World Collector's proprietary numbering system, where you see list detail and underneath that, World Collector. That is the name of the catalog of stamps where this data comes from. You get the usual data, color, denomination, issue date, etc. But a very nice inclusion is the dimensions of the stamp. This alone makes the database of really tremendous value to album makers who no longer have to measure each one of their stamps first. What makes this database relevant to this video is that it will also create albums, and that is simplicity itself. On the menu bar, you click on Albums and click on Use Selection, which means that you use Aiden, which you have currently selected to look at. Then you click on the blue album icon, and when this window pops up, you select the album icon with the pencil. And a menu will now open with Aiden, which you had selected previously, and then this window pops open with all of the stamps of Aiden. The only purpose for this window is to select on the left side which stamps you would like to have an image printed on the page. So this is a nice feature, as you're not limited to all pictures or no pictures. You then click on the white page icon with the magnifying glass to generate your album, and voila, instant album. As I said, this is only the very tip of the iceberg as regards this program's capabilities. But here is one more cool point that is just icing on the cake. You notice that that album page was a bit Spartan in appearance. Well, this program lets you export the album data as an AlbumEasy text file. And then from there, you open it with AlbumEasy, and it's a simple matter to make the tweaks that you want to make the album perfect for yourself. Between this database and AlbumEasy, you can literally, metaphorically speaking, rule the world. Two great tastes that taste great together. So then one more quick topic, and then I'm putting this video to bed. Many collectors want to know which is the best paper to use for making album pages. And like everything else involved with stamp collecting, the answer is whatever works best for you. However, here is my preference. Now, I've read so many responses to these questions in the past where someone responds, you need to use at least 160 grams per square meter weight paper. To which I say, no, you don't. For me, 160 gram cardstock feels like cardboard. I don't like it, and I think it's overkill, not to mention overly expensive. This is the paper I've come to know, use, and love. And I know what you're thinking. If you love it so much, why don't you marry it, Ted? Well, I did. And I would show you our wedding pictures, but I'm shy. Now, for those who may not know Staples, that is an office supply store, and this paper is their house brand, so you may not find it where you live. This is their premium ivory laser paper with a weight of 120 grams per square meter. Now, when looking at paper weights, or I don't really mean paper weights, I mean the weights of paper. Now, when comparing papers by weight, forget about the pound designation. This says it's 32-pound paper, but different types of paper, bond, vellum, cardstock, all have different standards by which their weight is measured. So the pound weights are not comparable between papers necessarily. However, the gram weight is directly comparable. The gram weight is how much 1 square meter of this paper weighs. This paper weighs 120 grams per square meter. You can barely see it printed there next to the 32 pounds. This is significantly thicker than normal printing paper, and it has a nice tactile feel to it, and it's got a smooth surface that's not glossy. It's still quite a bit more expensive than your ordinary printing paper. This pack of 300 was $24, which works out to 8 cents per sheet. So you don't want to be wasteful with it. So that does it for this program. I hope you found it helpful, and if you have something to add to the conversation, please leave a comment below. So until next time, this is Ted the Talking Stamp Collector, wishing you all happy stamping.